This is absolutely the end of days. And I feel with the Cowboys loss to the Niners and just the way things are going, there's certain things that have happened that let you know this is more than just a normal, hey, the Cowboys aren't doing very well right now. I think it is a complete shit show. Like they are entirely fucked. And there's lots of it's a lot of the ways that I feel about this are the ways that I felt like in 2000. So like 24, 25 years ago. Jerry the owner needs to fire Jerry the GM. So many of the stupid cliche things. I feel like they're all regurgitating up to the top now because it's just been too long and it's clear that there is absolute dysfunction and it rains down from the top. And that there's so many things about this particular game that we can talk about, but there's so many big picture things. But the fact that Mozzie Smith sucks, it really crushes you. You used a first round pick to try to solidify a position that you were dying in, and you're still dying. You're still worst in the league at that. They just don't have weapons on offense. The fact that you're trying to force the ball to an elf in Cavante Turpin on a huge third down in this game to try to save your season. Dak hits him with a ball on his helmet. I mean, couldn't be a better thrown ball, but he's 5'2" and he has no business being like. I mean, if anything, he's a gimmick. He's your fifth. He's a great returner, but you put him in every once in a while. But you don't throw the ball to him deep on third down when he's covered by a 6'8" corner. McCarthy the offense is stale. There's nowhere to run. The guys aren't getting open on offense. There's just no weapons besides CD. Dak looks like he can't run. I mean, this is a complete shit show on an epic level where you have the worst run defense in the league and the worst run offense in the league. I feel like it's the full weight of all of this 30 years of ineptitude of not getting back to the conference championship game, 29 years, whatever it is. And that's why Jerry is freaking out on Sean and RJ. That's why he's losing his shit. Because he knows they're fucked. It's time for a rebuild, and they just re-upped Dak at $60 million a year. This is the worst possible scenario you could ever imagine for this team, and he knows it.
Well, to me, it's not that unless Dak is no longer good. I mean, for the two things that I did not like, dude, we knew they had issues defensively. Well, if all your best defensive players have injuries at the same time, that's going to be a huge problem. They were never going to be a good defense, but they could have been an average defense. They were going to have to be better offensively. The things that I did not account for is just how subpar the offensive line has been. I thought it would be better than this. And maybe if Zach Martin's not at the top of the league in guards because of injuries, that starts a ripple effect, right? Because you just count on that. You count on him and okay, we're good there. They've actually gotten decent center play from a rookie. Guyton's obviously had his injuries and before that had his penalties, but rookies go up and down. Smith looks like a hit, right? I think that and also, man, the Terrence Steele thing, I don't even know what kind of player he is anymore. Mm-mm. I thought, they got an anchor out there, but he's really had a year and a half now that's subpar, right? So not only is that something I didn't think was going to happen, but I'm just really surprised at how poorly Dak has played because I'm a guy that's always believed in Dak. I think if you have the right team around him, you can absolutely win with Dak. But despite some things that aren't his fault, there's a lot of things that are his fault and are inexplicable. And I don't know where he's at mentally. Maybe it's because of the dysfunction around him and he's not handling it right. Maybe it's a change in his life. I don't know. I just know that Dak was really effing good last year. He was really effing good. And I don't think that, it was because they had Tony Pollard. Right. I mean, and their offensive line was better, but like that drop off has been very surprising to me. And I would not be surprised at all if it went back the other way and he got it together. The problem with an NFL season is like there's these chunks where your schedule is favorable and then there's these chunks where it gets harder. and the Cowboys are about to be in a chunk where it's harder, and they're 3-4. They really, to save their season, they needed to win last week, and they were in a position to do it. And that final drive was just horrible. Like, they were way better than the Niners in the first half. And then they basically got throttled in about an 8-minute stretch in the third quarter and lost the game. So it feels terrible. And we've seen some things that are really frustrating. And we know the run game's not going to get better. And we know that the defense isn't going to get better without Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and Deron Bland out there making a difference. And now, because of all the ancillary stuff that's happening out there, it feels like the end of the world. And so all of our discussions are about players yelling at media and Jerry losing his shit. And those are usually signs that there's a much deeper problem that's certainly not going to manifest itself into being a good season.
Exactly. And look, the defense missing Micah, Tank, Nealon, Sam Williams, Deron Bland. It makes sense that the defense isn't going to be what you want it to be, but missing on Mozzie Smith is devastating. You used a first round resource and he sucks. You know, he's flashed. He's had a couple games, but you know, they put it up there with, you know, the scoring system for Pro Football Focus or whatever. You can take it or leave it, but that he was the worst defensive tackle based on that criteria in football. That's not good for a first round pick. So you didn't shore up that position. And so I like Dak. I'm not worried about Dak. I am worried that he can't run anymore, but he's a really good quarterback. I think he's a top 10 quarterback. At times he looks like a top 3 quarterback. He did last year.
Yeah.
And so I believe in him, but I don't know that if you have to rebuild your defensive line and your offensive line, you're talking about multiple years. And so you're talking about spending a couple of years while paying a quarterback $60 million. I think this is what Jerry was wrestling with. Do we need a tear down rebuild or are we close? And the people close to him were saying, no, we're close. Give Dak $60 million a year. We're going to contend. And I think he's got horrible regret from signing him to that deal. And it doesn't really have as much to do with Dak as it has to do with the rest of the shit show. I guess that's my point. But I look at you know, Trayvon Diggs yelling at Mike Leslie while he's in full pads, like reading Twitter immediately after the game before he takes his pads off. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And you care to respond to a media person in the hallway? That's embarrassing. And so it is culture. And the meltdown from Jerry, it feels like the end of it all. I don't know that you can get the keys away from him. So I don't know what the out is here. But for me, the poster child moment for this, the doom certainty, like, hey man, we are absolutely screwed here, is this story that I can't get over, that they would not let DeMarvion Overshown wear number 0, his favorite number, the number he wore at Texas. Jerry Jones personally told him, you can't wear number 0 because Rowdy wears it. And
Respect, man.
I remember when KT told us this story. Now, that's your GM.
Protect the legacy of Rowdy, dude.
That's your GM who's spending time in his day to tell a star player you can't have the number you want because this fucking Muppet that dances around on the sideline wears it. And every once in a while when I'm thinking about this, because I think about it a lot, I'm like, maybe I misunderstood KT. Maybe I was looking at Ric Flair news on my phone. Maybe I was distracted. Maybe I didn't understand. Maybe he was kidding. And so I Googled it and I went and found this Bill Jones interview. And I think KT actually played it the day he told me about this.
Yeah, we played this on the air.
So listen to this. I couldn't remember if you were there that day or not.
Yeah.
Listen to this because every time I repost this, I have people going, wait, I thought you were joking. This is real. This is the great Bill Jones, courtesy of CBS 11, interviewing DeMarvion Overshown about his number.
You were Agent 0 at Texas. Okay. Last year you wore number 35 in camp here before you got hurt. Now you're wearing number 13. How did you settle on 13?
Well, you know, 0 was definitely panned out. Like, that's what I thought. That's what I was looking forward to in the future. And I just thought it was meant to be. Because at first, when I was already coming to the league, I was like, well, 0 is not even an available number. So I'm going to have to find something else anyways. And as soon as that they made the rule that NFL players can wear 0, I like the first Dallas Cowboy to wear 0. Like, it's just meant to be. Coming from Texas wearing number 0, this is just meant to be. And sadly, it didn't happen like that. That's Rowdy number, and I guess me and Rowdy gonna have to duke it out. But Rowdy, my guy, and so I think Mr. Jones is gonna hold on to that number for a while. Hopefully, 13 looks so good on the field. He'd be like, you know what, you can have 0.
So your goal, though, is to be number 0 whenever Rowdy decides that you played well enough to earn number 0, right?
I'm not saying it's well, I am saying it. Rowdy, if you ever just want to sit down and we can have a conversation, I tell you how much 0 means to me. Maybe we can have a little quick jersey change just for a game, just to see how it looks on me. If it don't look good, if it look better on Rowdy, I give it back to him. But I promise you, Rowdy, like I would make that 0 shine just like you do. But I actually told people, they bought the 35 jersey last year, and I already purchasing the 13 jersey. I'm like, man, I'm sorry what I'm doing to y'all bank accounts. I know the NFL.com is not cheap with these jerseys. So I promise y'all this 13 is gonna be the number that I'm riding with, unless 0 just magically pops up in my locker one day. You're gonna have to buy another jersey. It's gonna be number 0. But other than that, 13 it is. 13 it is.
All right. Appreciate it, Agent 0.
All right.
We'll call
Wait,
you Agent
hold
0
on. That
either
was the whole
way.
interview?
No, there was a lot more.
They just
All
shook hands and left.
Yeah, I edited that. They talked about a lot of other stuff.
Okay. I thought they
So-
dispatched Bill Jones out to Frisco to get that 3-minute piece.
When we talked about it on the radio, it was so preposterous that I didn't fully understand it. And I think it's happening to a lot of people. They're like, wait, that's real? That's a real thing? That really happened? And I know that if Overshone had been wearing number 0, that it wouldn't change our record. The record would be the exact same record. But it's emblematic of everything that's wrong with the organization. The GM is taking time away from his day to come tell a star player, you can't have the number you want because our fucking mascot has to wear it with his giant felt Muppet head while he dances around on the sideline and is obnoxious. But it's such an important thing. We can't have a player have number 0 and Rowdy wearing 00. Come on, man. You can't have that number.
We need Sean and RJ to get to the bottom of this, because I almost think that Overshone was lied to. I mean, I really don't think they took it to Jerry and he said no. It's possible. I mean, that's what Overshone thinks happened. But again, it's not even Rowdy's number. Rowdy is 00, which I think the reason probably Rowdy was 00 is because 0 is the number. Shit, I don't know. But it is emblematic of all the stupid stuff. Now, Overshone actually had the best idea, and this is what Jerry would go for: a Rowdy Overshone jersey swap at midfield of the Thanksgiving game by the Salvation Army bell, and then Zeke pops out like an Ewok. That's something that the Cowboys can get behind. You have Overshone, he's handing the thing. It's like D Wade's retirement. He's handing the thing, and him and Rowdy swap jerseys, and then just Zeke pops up real slow, looking like an Ewok. It'd be so badass, dude.
We need to shine a light on this. We need everyone in the world to demand answers. We got to get Overshone number 0. This makes no sense in the world. Anyways, Cowboys are fucked. Not surprised. It's only going to get worse. This is a terrible stretch of games. It's going to be absolutely terrible.
I've changed my prediction.
Is this on Zeke getting first down carries in the first drive?
I said that they would be. I think I said they would be 9-8. Maybe I said that. Yeah, I said 8.5, and then I took the over. I think they're going to be 8-1. I don't think they're going to be 9-8. I think they're going to be 8-1.
It's kind of like with Luka. By the way, can you imagine the Mavs telling if Mavs man wore 77 in his mini trampoline show and Luka wanted 77? Like, Luka, I'm sorry. Mavs man jumps on this tiny trampoline and dunks the ball and shoots T-shirts to fans. 77 is already taken. What else do you want?
I can imagine it in 1998 when Ross Perot Jr. owned the team.
Yeah. Oh man, it's an absolute shit show. It's a full on debacle.